friends, it's Jessie here. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. For today's video, I am going to be breaking down everything I spent in the first week of February. I have my expense tracker here, which is a worksheet that I created for myself. I do have printable versions of my worksheets available as part of my channel membership. If you click the join button below this video, it'll pop up information on all of the different membership tiers and what you get as perks if you join at that tier. I have this expense tracker as part of a bundle that you get if you join under the Budget Bestie tier. So if you're interested in having a set of worksheets for your February budget, including this expense tracker as well as lots of other worksheets, join my membership. For today, we're just going to be tracking my expenses for the first week in February, as I mentioned, which was January 30th through the 5th of February. So my husband and I get paid on Tuesdays, so that is the day of the week that starts our budgeting week. We go from Tuesday to Monday. In this case, the last paycheck of January is what we used to fund this first week of February, so that's why the dates are like that. And I'm just going to be talking about everything we spent. I'm going to categorize everything, and then I will use this expense tracker as a reference when I fill out my hybrid budget, and you will see that budget update tomorrow here on my channel. In January, I did all of my expense tracking as channel member videos that were exclusively for my channel members. This month, I'm trying out just expense tracking here as a regular channel video. I want to do some more like personal type things for my channel members in February. Leave me some feedback down below. Do you like expense tracking videos? Is this something you'd like to see on my channel regularly? I'd love to hear from you. So I'm just going to start listing things out. I do have a little rough draft here that I can use to reference. I'm just going to set that kind of off to the side, and we're going to get started with January 30th. And the very first transaction was Tim Hortons. My husband had a meeting, a work meeting. He met someone at Tim Hortons for that meeting, and so he got himself a cup of coffee to enjoy while he had that meeting. The category for that is eating out, and that was $2.35. So that was the first transaction of the week. Also on the 30th, we did some grocery shopping. If you watched the grocery haul I posted on my channel, you will see that we put in a pretty small grocery order, about $100. That grocery order arrived, or at least part of it did, with probably $200 worth of groceries that belonged to someone else, that was delivered to me by mistake, that we were able to keep. Walmart told us just to keep those items. So we got an overabundance of groceries that week. Like I said, the order that we placed was right around $100, but we did have some items missing. So they refunded us the difference, and the amount we ended up spending for the items that were delivered was $65.22. But like I said, we got like $200 worth of free groceries. Make sure you check out that grocery haul if you missed it. But because we were missing items from our order that we couldn't do without, we then had to go to Walmart and pick up those items. And inevitably, whenever I go into the grocery store, I always buy some extra things. I had my son with me. So even though we had an overabundance of groceries that were given to us for free, what a blessing, we still ended up buying some extra things, and the amount that we ended up spending in store was $96.33. So we still ended up spending more overall than I originally planned, because we did end up having to go in store, but for the grand total of what, like $150, we got a whole huge amount of groceries. All right, next up then was the 31st, and that was Scentbird. I signed up for a Scentbird account because there was a perfume that I wanted to try that was part of Scentbird, plus there was a discount code. I signed up for it and then immediately canceled it, so I won't get charged again for this. And the amount that I spent was $8.09, and that's coming out of spending. Next up is Audible. My husband has an Audible subscription, and that monthly subscription comes out of our auto pay category. However, he does sometimes buy additional books from Audible, mostly when the book itself costs less than the monthly credit costs. So that was the case here. He bought an audiobook for $12.71, and that's coming out of spending as well. On the 31st, Austin and I went to Tim Hortons. We were doing some shopping. I had to take him to pick up a few things. He had his own money for the shopping portion, but I did get us each a little coffee drink, and he got a breakfast sandwich. That amount was $11.40. And then we ended up at lunch as well. Chick-fil-A. It was really like a lunch slash early dinner for the family, and that amount was $43 with 41 cents. Okay, next up on the 31st, I checked out for my FabFitFun membership, or subscription rather. I bought the annual membership for FabFitFun as a birthday present to myself. Was it a birthday present? I think it was. I think that's what it was ultimately. There was a couple of extra things I wanted to add to my box this month. It's actually not a monthly subscription, it's a quarterly subscription. The spring box is the box that is coming out now. And I ended up adding on $33.91 worth of extra stuff, and that's coming out of spending as well. Okay, so then we had a Patreon membership of mine come out. The category for that is autopay. I lumped a whole bunch of these little tiny transactions that come out automatically from my account into one autopay category. That was $1.50. Also on the 1st, I had Factor come out. I do have a subscription for Factor. I get meals to help me eat low calorie and conveniently during the week. I'm gonna zoom you guys in a little bit more. So that was my Factor meal. However, I had a bunch of credits built up, so the only thing that I had to pay for this week was shipping, and that was $10.99. So that was really good. I also had a BarkBox subscription come out. That's also from the autopay category, and that amount was $28.31. If you're not familiar with BarkBox, it is a monthly subscription full of pet items for my puppy Maple. Okay, we paid our storage unit, and that category is bills, and that amount was $92.70. We also paid DTE, which is our electric bill, so that also comes out of the bills category, and that was $212 with 11 cents. We paid Hulu on the 2nd. It's another one of those that comes from autopay, so I didn't have to do anything. This just came out of my account automatically. I love that, because the less I have to think about things, the better. That was $17.99. We paid our lot rent, which also includes our cable bill and our water bill, in addition to our lot rent. And that is under the bills category. $765.60 is what I paid for that. So the difference between bills and auto pay, if I haven't already made it clear, bills I have to go in and manually pay. Auto pay is all automatic. That's the only reason I keep them separate. On the 2nd, my husband bought another audiobook. So that's coming out of spending. And that amount was $11.65. So again, like, it doesn't make sense to spend a Audible credit that costs, I think, $16.95 a month to get a book that only costs $11.65. Does that make sense? Then he went to Marathon. I don't know for sure what he bought. Probably a pack of cigarettes if I know him. He's supposed to use his cash for that, but sometimes he forgets it or whatever. It's fine. That's coming out of spending for $6.48. On the 4th, he ran to Dollar General while he was out and about to grab himself some snacks. So that's going to come out of the grocery budget, and that was $11. On the 5th, so this is the last day of this tracking session here, I placed a Nespresso order to get my Nespresso pods. So that's going to come out of grocery as well. And that amount that I spent was $37.50. I had my New York Times subscription come out. That's one of those auto pay transactions. And that was $2.50. We made our golf cart payment. That is a bill, so that comes out of bills, and that was $150. And we also made my camper payment, which was $200. The only other thing, and I always forget to write it down here, should have been all the way at the top for the 30th, I went ahead and made a Discover payment, which is an extra debt payment. It's the card we're currently working on paying off, and the amount that I paid was $250. So the first week of the month is always a big spending week, and this week was no exception. I need to go through now and add up all of the various categories here so we can get the totals so that I can fill in my budget for the week. So I have some highlighters here. I'm just going to go through and highlight each category and get them added up as I go using my calculator here on my phone. So I'm gonna open up my calculator. Maybe zoom out just a smidge. And we'll put it here. I don't want you guys to be able to see as I kind of add everything up. Does that work? Hopefully. So we're gonna start with eating out. So we had $2.35. This is not a highlighter. I thought this was a highlighter. It's not, it's a little pen. So let me grab a different one. Here we go, we'll do this orange color here. $2.35 plus $11.40 plus $43.41. And I believe that was everything for eating out. So we got a total of $57.16 for eating out. Not too bad. Obviously, it would be better if we hadn't eaten out at all, but I need to be realistic with what I can expect from us. So, yeah. Next up, we will do grocery shopping. And in case I haven't made it clear yet in this video, the grocery category does include, obviously, our groceries, but it also includes household items and pet items. So we have $65.22 plus $96.33 plus $11 plus $37.50. So $210.05 on groceries this week. All right, next we'll do spending. Starting with this $8.09 transaction plus $12.71 plus $33.91 plus $11.65 plus $6.48 I think that's everything. Hopefully I didn't miss any transactions. So spending came to $72.84. All right, let's do auto pay next. This is very, very similar to this other pink, but that's okay. We're gonna go with it anyway. Auto pay, $1.50 plus $28.31. I almost wonder if these aren't the exact same pinks. I guess they are different, but they are pretty close. Hulu for $17.99 plus $2.50. And I think that's everything. So $50.30 in auto pay. For factor, I'll just use this little purple Erin Condren pen here to mark it. It's just the one transaction, and that was $10.99. I did split out factor from our regular grocery budget this month, as opposed to last month when I lumped the two together. And then we have bills and extra debt. For extra debt, it's just one transaction, so I'll just go ahead and write that in. That was $2.50. And for bills, I have one highlighter color left here. So we have our storage unit for $92.70 plus DTE at $212.11 plus lot rent $765.60 plus our golf cart at $150 and our camper at $200. So $14, $20, $41 in bills. right, so let's get a grand total here. We have 5716 plus 21005 plus 7284 plus 5030 plus 1099 plus 250 plus 1420 41. We spent a total of $2,071.75 in the first week of February from our regular budget. We did have some sinking funds transactions. That's all separate in a separate tracker. This was everything that came out of our monthly budget. So I actually feel really good about the first week of February. I feel like we spent a lot less than we have in some other weeks for sure. Be on the lookout for my budget update video where I will use this worksheet to help me fill in my budget for the month. That'll come tomorrow. If you're watching this the day that it's uploaded, tomorrow will be that budget update, so be on the lookout for that. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and check out my channel membership if you're interested in those things. I'll see you next time. Bye!